Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Saturday, the 17th of September. Well, let's get straight into this. I haven't put the bet on yet, but I will be doing straight after this video. Apologies for the delay. Right, let's get into it. This is my kind of racing today. I'm not saying I'm going to do any better than normal. I am on a shocking run. Yesterday, Golden Valor, I don't know if any of you saw it, you need to go to racingtv.com, type the horse's name in, re-watch it if you watch it if you haven't watched it, or re-watch it. It was pulling double. It was shuffled to last, then ran on again for fourth. I'm not sure what price it ended up in. I think it was 16s, but I did see it drift. I'm sure it drifted to about 33 to 1. I might be wrong, but I thought it was given a shocking ride. Anyway, forget that. Even if it would have won, it wouldn't have enough to be, I don't think, a winning day. But anyway, let's get into it. So what I've gone for a 10 pence each way lucky 63, as you can see, and 25 pence each way doubles. So let's get straight into this. 1 second, I'm just on a quick. Yeah, so I thought it was a bit odd when I looked at it. The first selection actually runs at Catterick, and I shall get into that because Sky Bet have put it last. But what I'm looking for is Brian Meehan to get us onto a winning start to basically turn this 10 pence each way lucky 63 straight away into a 50 pence each way lucky 63. But you'll understand more in a minute. So let's get into it in the order that Sky Bet have put them in. So it's a 10 pence each way lucky 63 and 25 pence each way lucky 25 pence each way doubles. The first selection is Ayr Gold at 11 to 1 in the 230 at Ayr, paying 7 places instead of 4. I've had to decide where the pace is going to be and what draw preference is going to be. I'm going for high numbers. I think you need to make a decision early, and both selections in the Ayr Silver Cup and the Ayr Gold Cup are high numbers. I do believe Ayr could pinch the rail and then make a real good effort to make all. I do like Keith Dalglish's horses in these big races at these northern tracks, and I think it's got a cracking chance. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's maybe got to reverse the form of some of the others, but some of the others are racing low. I think it could make a real effort to get the near side rail, either make all or at least be prominent and then kick on. It's been running well. I do believe its last 2 runs were probably just to edge its handicap mark down a bit, and now it goes to Ayr and could easily, well, I say easily, it's a 25 runner field. It could make all, or at least be prominent, and then kick on. So that's the first one. The second selection is Vadream at 14 to 1 in the 340 at Ayr, paying, well, it's the Ayr Gold Cup, paying 7 places instead of 4. Believe it or not, this is probably the weakest race this horse has ever ran in. Yeah, it's hard to believe, isn't it? It has never competed in anything worse than a listed race. It's been competing in listed races, Group 1s, Group 2s, Group 3s. Well, it's actually dropping down to the Ayr Gold Cup. It's all right, don't get me wrong, it's going to be competitive, but it's the lowest ranked race it's actually ran in. It's never run in a handicap before. So this is also drawn high. It's Charlie Fellows, who is very good at choosing races for his horse. Well, selecting races to target. And I believe this horse has got a cracking chance. The interesting thing is, Oisin Orr takes the ride. Well, Richard Farr has already got one in the race, and I would have expected Oisin Orr to take the ride on that one. Well, it isn't. Charlie Fellows has got this jockey, so very interesting. Anyway, high numbers. It doesn't race prominently. It races just off the pace, but I think it could sit behind the pace and kick on when jockeys start asking the mounts to quicken. I do think it's got a cracking chance. It's just beginning to reach a bit of form. The third selection is Redana at 13 to 2 in the 120 at Ayr, paying 5 places instead of 3. This horse is in cracking form. It can either race prominently or race last and use its turn of foot. I don't know exactly what they're going to do. But I do fancy the horse. James Sullivan takes a ride. Decent jockey. So it's a decent jockey, especially if they sit last with this horse and use its turn of foot. The fourth selection is Detective at 18 to 1 in the 520 at Ayr, paying 5 places instead of 3. Well, I've gone for a stable in the previous selection by Diane Sayer. I've actually gone for her stable again. This horse it's very odd how they race this horse. It's been running between a mile and 1.6 miles, but it's been running well in at all the distances. Well, I don't know how they're going to race it. Well, sorry, I do with this horse. I do know they're going to sit last. Hopefully, there might be a lot of pace on, and I do believe it always seems to come with a run, no matter what pace. What distance it runs at, whether it's a mile or 1.5 miles, 1.6 miles. It's 1.5 miles today. I do believe that it will be buried away for a late run, and it's Graham Lee on board, and he's very good at switching horses off. And finally at Ayr, Abduction at 14 to 1 in the 445 at Ayr, paying 4 places instead of 3. Well, I don't know what's going on for this horse. It seems to switch trainers like anything, but every time it does, it seems to run a good race. It switched trainers twice now. The first time it switched trainer, I think it went from Charlie Wallace to another trainer to maybe Grant to. It won, and then it switched again, and it came third. Well, this is its first run now for Jim Goldie, and Jim Goldie is excellent at it. He knows everything inside out. He knows all about the horses, all about the track. Yeah, and I don't know why the owners have switched it to Jim Goldie, but very interesting, and I think it just gives an interesting angle to it. So it's off a competitive mark of 77. It's ran and won off higher. I think it's won off 80. So yeah, it is off a competitive mark. So let's have a very interesting horse. And finally, Hunk Papa at 100 to 30 in the 148 at Catterick, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse is just beginning to reach a bit of form. It had first time blinkers on last time, probably ran its best race ever, where it kicked clear. Well, clearly it's got loads and loads of speed. Well, speed favouring track like Catterick should favour this horse. Brian Meehan very rarely has a runner at Catterick. I think it's very interesting, and I do think it's got a cracking chance to probably win the race. But I'm having it as an each way selection. It's not really an each way price, but if it wins, it then turns our bet into a 40 pence each way lucky stick 3, which gets a bit tasty then. So don't click off yet. The football bet will follow. So this is the football bet. It's a £10 over 2.5 goals treble. The matches are Northampton versus Rochdale, Gillingham versus Mansfield, and Middlesbrough versus Rotherham. Middlesbrough versus Rotherham is the evening kick-off. I don't normally like selecting evening kick-offs, but as you'll know, I have had Middlesbrough in the in my anti-post bets to do well in the league. Well, they're doing shocking at the moment, and this could be full of goals because I've actually had Rotherham to go down, so it's like a 6-pointer for me really. What I want is ideally Middlesbrough to absolutely batter Rotherham. If Middlesbrough lose this match, I do believe it's the end of Chris Wilder. He can't keep losing these matches and come up with excuses. So they have actually been playing well, but they just keep conceding. So also, I should be having a £2.50 treble. All these 3 teams over 3.5 goals. And then I should be having, again, a £2.50 treble over 4.5 goals. The over 3.5 goals treble and the over 4.5 goals treble, if there's a lot of generally if there's a lot of early goals, I do see cash out. Well, it might be a bit tricky with it being an evening match, but if we're in a very good position, you may be where there's been lots of goals in the early matches, you may be in a position where you've got a chance of cashing out even before the evening match. Well, that's up to you. But I should be letting the bet run, and then when it comes to Middlesbrough match, when it kicks off, if there are early goals in that match as well, and we're in a good position from the afternoon kickoffs, I might well cash out. I'll be looking closely anyway. So anyway, so that's about £20 on the horses roughly, or just over, and £15. So it's £35 placed on the day. So fingers crossed. I've got a funny feeling about today. Don't get me wrong, it could mean we don't get a single selection placed, but I do like the look of the selections of both the horses and the football. So fingers crossed. The very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.